Shalom, hello to everyone. It's my honor to spend a few moments sharing some thoughts with you on behalf of Faith Presbyterian Hospice. I'm Rabbi Howard Wolk, the community chaplain with Jewish Family Service, and we work very closely with Faith Presbyterian Hospice. And each month, I'm invited to share a couple of thoughts with you. I hope you find them relevant. By the time you see this in the Jewish community, we will have finished celebrating the holiday of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, which celebrates God's protection over the Israelites during the 40 years in the desert. For 7 days, a tabernacle, a booth, a sukkah, becomes our temporary home. And we read in our prayers that during the time of the temple, during the 7 days of the festival, the Israelites brought 70 different offerings to the temple, a certain number each day, a total of 70. And our rabbis explain that the number 70 stands for the 70 original nations that inhabited the world. If you look in chapter 10 and chapter 11 of the book of Genesis, we read about the proliferation of the human race following the Tower of Babel, the descendants of Noah, his children, grandchildren, etc., eventually become nations, the 70 original nations that inhabited the world. The 70 offerings were on behalf of the nations of the world. It was our way of asking and praying to the Almighty that God should grant all the nations of the world peace and prosperity and health and happiness. And even without the offerings nowadays, we still read about this in our daily prayers during the holiday. And certainly these wishes and hopes and prayers are perhaps more relevant than ever because the pandemic experience that we've been going through these many months together really underscores the connection between all humanity among all nations. And so when we pray for health and happiness and prosperity, we are doing this for everyone, for the entire world. And with the conclusion of the holiday, we begin in synagogue ritual reading from the very beginning of the Torah, the book of Genesis. We literally go back to the beginning, and we read about the creation of the human race, of Adam and Eve, who stand for all of humanity. And one of the powerful lessons of God creating one man and one woman is to teach us the sanctity of each individual life. God chose to create everything else in big numbers, planets in the solar system, the number of solar systems, animals in our world, vegetation, mountains, rivers. Human beings, God creates but one man and one woman, and God says to Adam and Eve, okay, you get it started. God purposely did not populate the world with 100,000 people, 1 million people. Certainly the Almighty could have done that, but it was to teach us the importance of every individual life, the sanctified nature of every human being. And in terms of hospice work at Faith Presbyterian Hospice, in terms of chaplaincy work, I think that's one of the really foundational concepts that we really put into action, that we work with individuals. We seek to make the individual comfortable, to bring individual members of the family comfort and solace during very difficult times. And as we now begin a new Jewish year on the Hebrew calendar, our overall prayer to God is that the pandemic should come to an end. We should be blessed with a vaccine, a cure, and that all of mankind should head into health and happiness and peace and tranquility for all of us. Shalom, and thank you very much for your attention.